Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. How are you all tonight? I want to talk tonight about dealing positively with inflation. I hear and have heard a lot of people, doing the old sky is falling over inflation. And I get it, inflation, but I warned about this 2 years ago, so this is not particularly new. Pretty much everything that if you followed me, everything that's happening is exactly what I said would happen. Not patting myself on the back. I've been around a long time. I've seen these things. I've seen the cycles. This is what had to be coming. This is what's coming. And it's caught a lot of people by surprise, sadly so. But too many people are reacting to it negatively. And I know people will say, well, how can you not react negatively to inflation that is really putting a hammer on so many people? Well, I want to talk about that. And I do hear a lot of people going, inflation, is going to do this, is going to do that. The road ahead is horrible, everything like this. And it's kind of like saying the train is coming, but not saying get off the tracks. Well, I want to tell you tonight to get off the tracks, and I want to tell you how to do it, how you have to do it, okay? It's too much preparedness is done in a negative way. Too much is done in kind of a defensive way, a kind of a hiding. I'm just going to knuckle down and hide and do with less and less and less, and be able to do with less and less and less. And I'll tell you right now, that is a recipe for failure. I know it's probably the dominant theme in preparedness, but it is going to result in simply a reduced lifestyle, a reduced quality of life as the years go through, and I want to tell you how to do it something different. What brought this up is I went down this morning to Aldi. By the way, if you hear a noise in the background, the boys are bringing up a bunch of the Christmas decorations. We've been busy. It's been a busy season. We're finally getting the Christmas decorations up. Yeah, we celebrate Christmas like you can't believe. You might imagine, since we own a Christmas business, that they're bringing up the decorations. We decorate most of the major rooms in the house. Maybe I'll show it to you on a later video. I don't know. We're getting ready to host the family for Christmas Eve and Christmas. We host Kelly's side on Christmas Eve, and then my side on Christmas Day. And we go all out and have ever since the kids were young. We set up, I think this year it's 16 trees inside the house, 16 full-size Christmas trees inside the house. And tonight we're going to decorate them as soon as Kelly gets back from with one of the young and doing a little Christmas shopping. So if you hear a noise, that's what we're doing back there. That's what they're doing while I'm sitting here drinking, sipping a little Makers and over on ice. I like it on ice. I'm not one of these guys that just says, well, I'm going to have it straight and neat and all that. I like it on ice. I like it with a little water sometimes. Whatever makes me happy, right? So I went down to Aldi this morning to pick up the Christmas turkey. And the prices were appreciably higher than last year, right? I mean, everything is higher. I know some food items are 100% higher. I think the turkey that I picked up today was $1.50. I got a 20-pound turkey. I think it was $1.59 a pound, and I think last year it was 89 cents a pound. So, that's a big jump, right? Now, you only buy turkey a couple of times a year. At least we do. We don't roast big turkeys as a rule, but that's an appreciable increase in price. Not as much as the chili that I buy. It's gone from 86 to $1.50, something like that. I don't know. Interestingly enough, the ham that they had, and we've always had a good, at least my side. Kelly doesn't like ham. But my side has always kind of had a Christmas ham, in addition to, the turkey and things like that. We do the traditional stuff. And it had been $2.49 a pound, and it was on sale for 85 cents a pound. How about that? So I watched the different shoppers around there, and I saw that they had very differing attitudes. Some were in there shopping, some were in there kind of worrying, to be honest. And for those people, I feel for them. But I want to give them some advice, and I want to give some advice here for those who need it. Okay. Now, there's a lot of people here that prep properly, which I mean you prep positively, aggressively, leaning forward, okay? Offensive, not meaning you offend people, but an offensive posture in preparing. And there are some who don't. And the chasm between the two, as far as quality of life, is drastic. So I want to talk to those of you who need a little help in this area, okay? So much of prepping concentrates on surviving as opposed to living. I know there are people who make fun of the idea of, I don't want to just survive but thrive. Well, why would you not? Let me ask you that. Why would you not want to thrive? I used to even use the word thrival. I thought I invented it until I heard somebody else say it. And I don't know if maybe he stole it from me, I don't know. Or maybe I overheard it from him and thought I invented it. It doesn't make any difference. Why would you not want to thrive when things get bad? I'm not even talking about SHTF. I'm talking about what we're in the middle of right now. An economic challenge, inflation. Some people will talk about how people are hurting. I get it. I know that. And I'm sorry for that. But I'm going to tell the truth and say that the difference is how those people have approached their lives. And I want to help you people who have not particularly approached your lives well yet, okay? And you think that life is just one day after another of just hanging on. Life is not about just hanging on. Life is to be lived. It's to be lived fully. It doesn't mean that you go out there and tromp on other people. It means you do your best to have a good quality of life, the kind of life that God meant you to have. Now, some people will say, but blessed are the poor. God says don't be rich. God never said don't be rich. Yes, that's true. And I'm not putting anybody down who is not doing well. What I'm saying, you can do better. And if you will listen to me, and if you will simply believe me, and if you will do what I suggest, you will do better. And you won't enter another Christmas season worried and down and feeling as if you're the victim and all of this. This is important stuff. This is important stuff. There will be other people who are on here that I hope or that I know prepare properly. I hope they will come on and give their own experiences and their own advice how you can do better, because it's you who need to do better that I'm speaking to tonight. Okay? All right. Now, hopefully, as you've come in, if you've been preparing for any length of time, hopefully you've come into this holiday season not needing to go out and buy a bunch of food. Okay? When we hear that people are suffering, not able to buy food, well, hopefully that doesn't apply to any of you, because you all should have been preparing, right? And you can be a good example to those if you know people who are, having some problem with their food bills now. You can be an example to them. And if they will follow your example, then maybe they won't get into this pickle again and, live a more positive life. Like I said, too often people approach prepping in a defensive way. Just don't hurt me. Just don't get me. I just don't want to starve. Just don't this. Just don't that. Okay? Hiding, essentially, from the great threats. Okay? How about go ahead and fight the threats? How about that? That was the whole purpose of my books that I'll get to in a minute. But why not proactively identify what the threats could be in the future and then go after them, attack them. Do everything that you can. Now, how can you do that? Well, it takes a willingness to do it. It takes a setting your mind to do it. It takes an accepting of the importance to do it. It takes an accepting of the responsibility to do it. And this takes us back to what I've always said, is that preparing is the ultimate responsibility. Okay? It's not just a hobby. It's not just something that you do because it's fun or you want to buy a new gewgaw. It is the ultimate responsibility. It is the endeavor that you pursue so that the world around you cannot affect you and yours negatively. Because there are always things going on in the world that are ready to thump you, and when you're thinking that you got a block of right, that left comes in. If you're prepared in a total way, that left isn't going to get you either. Does that make sense? So what I'm talking about here is that you have to accept the responsibility, and then you have to think, what do I need to do? Okay? And then you have to pursue a plan aggressively to not just protect your lifestyle, but elevate it. That goes against the grain of so many people, because too many people, I would say the majority in the world, don't think about improving their life. And that's sad. They just think about protecting what they've got. Okay? Well, I've always been like this, so I guess I'll always be like this. Well, this was good enough for my daddy. It's good enough for me. It's good enough for my grandpa. It's our family has just always kind of been. Don't fall into that. Don't fall. That's poor thinking. Why would you want to do that? Okay? Did God put you on this earth just to kind of go from, from malady to malady? No. He gave you a mind. He gave you abilities. He gave you, hopefully, creativity. He gave you free will. And he gave you his help if you will ask him for it. So how do you protect against this? You need to do better in your life. Everybody out there is thinking beans, bullets, and Band-Aids. Too many aren't thinking about money. And every time I talk about money, I know that I will get some comments. Well, not everybody has all the money in the world. You're right. Nobody has all the money in the world, so I don't know what kind of ridiculous statement that is. Okay? But you've shown me that you are determined to fail, so I can't help you. Come back when you're ready to try to do something for yourself. Everybody can do more. Everybody can do better. It has to do with a willingness to do it instead of a wantingness to do it. Getting up off your butt, doing it. Okay? You can do something that earns you more money. You can. I don't even know you, and I know you can. How can I say it? Because everybody can. Well, I could work overtime. Well, then do it. Okay, if that's your job, work overtime. Get a second job, if that's what it takes. Get a part-time job. Have your spouse get a whatever it takes. Be bringing more money in, but far better than that is develop your own business. Now, what could that be? That could just, first off, be selling everything. Who's that guy on the radio that's always, what was his name? I don't know. But I used to hear him talk about, and I don't agree with Dave Ramsey. I don't agree with everything he says. He's a guy, he got himself in a load of trouble over debt, and now, he preaches against debt. I get it. Debt's not good, but he came, he fell into the big debt monster and got himself out, and then made himself rich by telling people not to go into debt. Good, right? But when he talks about, excuse me just a second, I got to go do some. So I remember that I used to hear him say, hey, sell everything. Sell everything you got to get out of debt. Yeah, it's a good idea. You got a bunch of junk around the house, you need to sell it. Sell it. And then think of a way to make more. Build a business. Make a little business. I've said before, my kids made a lot of money selling cocoa. Hot chocolate. We got one of those. We're in one of those Christmas neighborhoods everybody drives through. They went out there and they set up a little table and they sold hot chocolate for $1 a cup. Man, people stopped by. You can't believe it. They made hundreds of dollars in one night. Some people stopped just because they love to see kids out there trying to make money, and they said, I don't want any hot chocolate, but here's $5. And don't tell me that's hey, that was generous people. That's not welfare. That was generous people passing on blessings that they feel that they had gotten. When I wrote my books, it was to try to explain the importance of being positively and aggressively prepared, so that not only are you not worried when inflation comes, but you can help other people. Okay? The entire message in here, in the Stonemont series, and all 5 of these books, yeah, I'm writing the 6th one, is separate yourself from dependence on the system. The only way you do that is to provide your own sources of income. Okay. Now you may work for somebody now. You get a paycheck. Okay, well that's good. You get a paycheck and you got bennies and all that. Good for that. What if they decide that you need to do something in order to keep your job and you don't want to do it? Then tell me how independent you are, right? Okay, you may be independent and you may be starving. There's nothing fun about starving, no matter how independent you are. Isn't that the truth? I know I'm slinging some hard lessons here, but that's the truth. You need to get away from dependence on anybody else except God himself. So there's no reason in the world that inflation should hurt you. No reason. I said before, and it was like, and I stole this from Rush. He says, I don't care about inflation. I'm not going to participate in it. And, a lot of people say, well, good for it. He's a multi-millionaire and all that. I remember when Rush was in Kansas City here. He used to work as, I forget, something. He was like a public relations for the Royals or something. The guy was so broke, he had to buy his food on a credit card at a Quick Trip or a place that's off a convenience store I used to go to. Guy had nothing. And look what he built. Right? Now, is Rush smarter than you? Maybe he's smarter than a lot of us, right? Guy was one smart guy, but he had the drive. And he had the perseverance, and he had the dream. And he wanted to be more than just scratching by. And you should too. Because it's not about money. It's about the freedom. And money buys freedom. It's about the freedom to live your life the way you want to. Between you and God. There's no reason that inflation should be worrying anybody, especially anybody who is in preparedness. Because it's always coming, okay? The economic cycles go, ebb and flow, ebb and flow. And I've been, and other people have been saying this is coming for several years now, so it's no surprise. So all these people jumping up and down about inflation. Okay, it's here. You should have been ready. You should have gone, okay, well, I got to pay $1.59 a pound for my turkey this year instead of 89 cents. You know what? Instead of saying it sucks today, it was great before. I got really good deals on those turkeys before. Good thing I stocked up. Remember Joseph? Remember Joseph down in Egypt, right? You stocked up during the years of plenty, and you had plenty during the lean years. So, turkey costs what turkey costs. Chili costs what chili costs. Your gas costs what gas costs. Everything costs whatever it costs. And whether it affects you negatively too much, let me put it this way, because, it affects everybody. I mean, if you got more money going out, it affects you. But if you notice it, and if it hurts, if it detracts from your life, if it detracts from your way of life, if it detracts from what you're able to do, then you have not prepared. And that means to me, you have not taken preparedness seriously. You've simply played it like a game, or used it as entertainment, as kind of yes, the storm's coming, the storm's here, we're all in the same boat. Ain't it great that we're all suffering together? Well, there will always be those who would rather suffer with others than to do what it takes to elevate themselves so that they don't suffer the next time the wave comes along. I know this has been kind of harsh, but it needs to be said, it needs to be understood, and it needs to be acted on. Now, if you're having any problem during this holiday season, I feel for you. I want you to know that I genuinely do. Go to the Lord, seek Him, ask for His help. Realize that these holidays are not about money, they're not about presents, they're not about just because I put up 16 Christmas trees in my house. It's not about 16 Christmas trees. It doesn't matter if there's a little bitty one over in the corner. That's not what Christmas is about, or any of these holidays. But if you're still in that situation next year, it's nobody's fault but yours. Because the world is full of things you can do to better your life, to better your position, to better your preparedness, and then to better your ability to help others. Okay? You can't help others if you're not strong, if you're not in a strong position yourself. Okay? Listen. I hope for the best for all of you. I hope that those who needed to hear these words tonight understood that they came from a concern and a love for you. But they were not an attack. They were an admonishment. Much like I'd say to any of my kids or people who come to me for advice, hey, it's up to you, and it's time you got going. Okay? There's no reason, if you're struggling now, this should be the last lesson you need in struggling. Because this should teach you the lesson and say, man, okay, after this season is over, we got a new year coming up, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to get at it. And I'm going to live my life positively, and I'm going to involve myself in positive preparedness, aggressive preparedness, so that I will never again be in a situation to where inflation can cause me worry, ruin my life, ruin my Christmas, and that I can also be in a position to help others. Okay? God bless you all in this Christmas season and every season. And if you know somebody who needed this message, feel free. Somebody asked me the other day, can I share this video? You can share all of my videos. You can share all of my videos. Okay? And if you want to know the master battle plan, here it is, guys. It's the Stonemont series. I spent years writing these books. It's all about it. If you followed the plan in here, you can't believe the quality of life you'd be living. Start now. They're available. Where are they available, Steve? They're available on Amazon, and I'll put the links down there. Hundreds of thousands of people across the world have been helped by these things. I'd love, if you haven't read them, I'd love for you to be helped by them too. You can get them on Amazon down below. You can get them either in Kindle or in paperback, whichever way. The Kindle's only like $5.99 or something like that. The hardbacks are $12.99, I think. It's been a long time since I checked what they were going for. You can get autographed copies from me, and the way to do that is also down there. It takes me a little time to get them because I keep running out, and then I got to order more, and they come in, and I got to wait, and then I'll sign them, and then I'll take them up and mail them. And if you want them fast, Amazon's the way to go. If you want them autographed by me, send them to me, and I'll get them to you just as soon as I can. And I'm writing. Well, I'm not. I can't give away that secret. Listen, you all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And people who prepared well yesterday are not stressing about inflation now. Okay? Inflation, this is not the first time inflation has come, and it's not going to be the last time. It's one of many. And it hurts a lot of people who weren't ready. And it doesn't hurt the ones who were. As a matter of fact, the crashes that are coming now, there are people who are going to be cleaning up. And I've said that before. A couple of years ago when people said, should I buy stocks? And I said, no, don't buy stocks. Buy food and guns and ammo. Because the real estate market is tanking. The stocks are, you're going to have some real deals. If you want to really build your future, the opportunity is coming. It's not quite here yet, but it's coming. But you have to be ready, and that means you have to handle your life right, and that means you have to handle your finances right. There is no such thing as a prepared person who has not handled their finances right. Okay, enough of that. You all have a good day. I think we're about to start decorating the trees. I need a little refill on my makers. I may talk to you tomorrow, so it's only a few days out from Christmas. If I don't see you before Christmas, you all have a very Merry Christmas. And remember, the real reason for the Christmas celebration is Jesus Christ and the gift he gave us. Y'all have a good night. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.